One of the biggest mistakes that I made early on in my business cost me a lot of money, and I didn't even realize it. For years, everything in my business revolved around me. I was the bass player, the sound guy, the manager, the booking agent, the musical director, literally everything. At first, it felt like dedication. It felt like control. But it ended up putting a hard ceiling on how much I could make. And what I didn't expect was how much money I was quietly turning down. And not because people didn't want to book us, but I just didn't have the systems to handle that kind of demand. And so like I said, early on, man, I was doing everything. I was the one on the computer answering all the emails. I was on the phone talking to clients, trying to close sales. So I was the sales and marketing team. I was the MC at weddings. I was the coordinator between the wedding planner and the band. I was a sound guy. I was the person driving the van. I was playing in the band. I mean, I did so many things. I wasn't just involved. I was like the single point of failure in the band. At the time, it felt normal. It even felt responsible. Like I felt good about it. I didn't own the business. I was the business. And at the core, this wasn't ignorance. It was really just fear. I liked doing everything. I liked plugging everything in. I thought that I was the best one, the only one that knew how to plug a microphone into a mixer. And this level of control just felt really safe to me. And letting go of all those responsibilities, it was just so terrifying. It felt so impossible. Like, how could anybody do it better than me? I was the one who invented it. I invented plugging in a microphone, right? I thought that being in control meant being a professional. But really what happened is it made me small. I thought that being in control meant being a professional. But really, that level of control just made me small. It made me limited as a business owner. And so there was this hidden cost that was really invisible. And it was just the money that was not coming in because I was too afraid to let go. The band started to gain traction. There were more inquiries coming in, more demand. And I just had to say no because I didn't know how to book that many gigs. I just didn't have the right systems, the right personnel, the right mindset to expand. There were only so many gigs that I could physically do myself. There were only so many emails that I could answer. There were only so many fires that I could put out myself. I wasn't losing money. I was just never touching it to begin with. And so every time we got this surge of inquiries, I would try to book as many as I could, but I was running myself into the ground. I was starting to burn out. My mental health suffered. There was just no off switch. Vacations or traveling, it was non-existent for me. I couldn't imagine, because if I left, then the business would stop existing. That's when I realized that this wasn't sustainable. I was just surviving out there. And so hiring help, hiring additional team members, this was a big step in my business development, and it was really scary letting go. It took me years from the moment when I decided that I wanted to start getting help, it took me like 4 years to really let go of almost 10 years of me holding on so tight. I hired an assistant, and it was slow at first. I wasn't sure what they were capable of doing. Could they do it as good as I was doing it? They were offloading a lot of email stress from me, and that was helpful. They were documenting processes, and I was realizing that creating systems created freedom for me. One of the biggest breakthroughs was figuring out how to just get clients to pay me without me doing very much. It used to be the clients would send me checks, physical checks in the mail. So I had to be home, I couldn't be away, and I had to cash the checks. And it was so old school. And I realized that, there's systems out there, electronic payments. Yeah, there are fees, but those systems and learning how to use them, it really opened me up to scalability. The moment that money stopped depending on my personal location, that's when everything changed. And so removing myself was one of the biggest unlocks of my career. Taking myself out of the band and realizing that there were other bass players that could do the job just as well as I could, if not better. I created systems for when people needed to sub in and out of the band for for whatever reason. I created internal band leaders that could run the show completely on their own. I created MCs and tech crews that could do all that stuff. And eventually I could just sub myself out, and I did. And that was one of the biggest wins. I remember that weekend, it was me. I took the weekend off to go race my bike. And I had 3 weddings that weekend. I was blown away that when I realized, wow, just a few years back, there was no way that I was gonna be able to do this. That's when I realized also that my business didn't need me to exist. And so systems are not optional, they are leverage. They allow for more cash flow, hundreds of thousands of dollars of additional cash flow because I was able to create these systems. In the first 10 years of my career, I didn't have those systems, and it's, millions of dollars that I left on the table because of that, because I was just trying to do everything myself. You don't systemize because you're big, you systemize to get big. So don't wait 10 years like I did, start now. If you're new here, I'm Claudio, the owner, band leader, and bass player of Mod Society. Subscribe for more content like this, and check out this video where I talk about why I've always paid musicians more than I should be paying them. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.